So continuing from where we left off the last time, so I have it all marked. So we'll be working on the backside dovetail. So this go this way, this one goes this way. So now I just have to like start laying out the dovetails for this one. So the usual process that I follow. First working on the temporary pencil lines. See. I try to use like this time, like when I'm like using the pencil line, like I have tried my best to keep it like well dimensioned, but since this is done by hand, when I eventually come with the knife, I will try to use the exact edge just to be more accurate. But for the temporary lines, I think this is good enough. By the way, the dovetail layout is no different than what we did on the on this one, so I'll just use that to just transfer the marks instead of like trying to do this all over again. Now I could just use this to transfer on the other side, which I will do right away because it's just slightly easier, like before I have the dovetails cut. So ideally, like, it would have been nice to mark all four of these like at the beginning itself, but this thing works. You can cut all four or both the like dovetails like at a time, but I don't do that because to avoid myself from getting confused. Now this is where I will try to shoot for like more accuracy. So this is B, so this comes this way. This. It's tricky to work on like these small dovetails. It's a different thing altogether. I mean, the bigger dovetails, like, they have their own challenges. But let me try to put it here so that. So the bigger dovetails, they have their own challenges, but I guess like it's a different challenge. Like in a lot of aspects, like the smaller dovetails are like could be considered more complicated I think. I mean, margin of error is less, so if we are not accurate and we try to compensate too much, then the dovetails would be loose. So like this saw would work just fine. I used to work with this one. It worked perfectly fine because I have this finer tooth saw. I will at least go for the crosscut with this one. Trying to find where is the knife. Even this quarter-inch chisel is like just gets in there. I'm going away from the line just to like create the relief and consolidate, but I have to be careful because sometimes I lose track of the initial knife mark with this approach. Now I'm going straight up against that. It reduces the chances of that knife wall moving. Yeah, I do have a, what is that, a 16th inch chisel. I hope I would not need that. Definitely the center pin was like while laying out I made it a little bit smaller than I would have wanted. Eventually it will work out, but I didn't intend to have it this small. It was such a small like pin recess to begin with that if I am off by a little bit, it's going to came out very nice. Just some cleanup. The center part also a little bit, but usually what happens is there is a hump at the center. That's what I'm trying to. Since I was chopping from both sides, both the ends should be, I expect those to be accurate. Doesn't work out always, but if I can create a slight step down, I hear that clicking sound, that's a good sign. See that clicking sound? That tells me that I was exactly on the step down. Makes it a little bit easier to rest my saw up against that. This side little bit like harder, but so it comes this way. I like chisel work so much that I've never tried the cooping saw technique for making dovetails. I'll try it someday. I mean, I'm pretty sure this will be my go-to method. So first one was like slightly away from the wall. This one is right up against that. I'm being more sensitive when I'm like right up against that knife wall. Right. I don't remember like technically whether this is harder or oak, white oak, but with my experience, like I feel like when I'm working with ash, it is feels harder than oak. Cherry feels like butter compared to these. Almost. It's pretty clean. So same thing. This is good. Now let's see how good it is. I can see a clear like a hump here. Let me take the corners off. It could still go in. I may have to do a little bit of cleanup here. Like there is a little. I think that should be enough. So taking the inside corners helps it get a start. This side, like I can clearly see the dovetail towards me is like very good and tight. The other side seems like a little bit too tight. Without going till the end, I'm trying to clean it a little bit. I mean, if I hadn't got my, I want to get the dovetails like right off the saw, which I usually tend to get, but if not, I'll try not to force this in. This is going in actually pretty good. This side is like sound like I can feel. This side is like very springy, which usually implies it's little bit tight. I don't want it. This is ash, so this may still go in, but I don't want to take a chance of this splitting on me. So I'll relieve a little bit on the outside. Yeah, this will go in. This came out very nice. Had to do a little bit of pairing. I didn't want to do that, but sometimes that much pairing is just fine. One more side, and then we'll work on the fitting the drawer. Again, this is what my son has been doing. So he wants to fit this here somehow. He wants to use screws. I wanted him to use glue. His mind changes, so we'll see what he does on that one. All right, see you next time.